lives. And joining me now to talk more about breast cancer and their own personal story is Kristol Reyes Veach, both breast cancer survivors and a mother and a daughter as well, also joined by Dr. Mark Landeros. Thank you all for coming on today.
Thank you.
So as we can see, and like you said, you're still undergoing treatment for cancer. Tell us about your diagnosis and how it came to be.
Well, my OB/GYN was the one that wanted to start doing my mammograms at 30 because of my mom's history. So I went ahead and did that. We weren't expecting anything to come back positive. We were just trying to get a baseline. And when my very first mammogram came back abnormal, I had to go through all these other tests, and finally I was diagnosed in June of this year.
So how has it been knowing that your mom also battled breast cancer and now you battling it on your own?
It was kind of scary at first, but because my mom did so well, I thought, okay, I can do this. But I think when you initially get diagnosed, it's a lot of fear and the unknown. But I've been doing really well. I have a lot of support, so that helps. I do videos before my treatments, and that's always kind of fun for everybody to get involved with that.
And Maria, you were telling us that it was 6 years ago when you were going through the same thing.
Yes, I was. I had been having problems since I started at 40. That's why Dr. Garcia wanted her to start at 30 to get her mammogram. It was 6 years ago that I got diagnosed. And it was my fault. Every year I was getting a mammogram, but I was so busy at work that I waited 4 years that I didn't have a mammogram, and so my cancer was a little more advanced when I was finally diagnosed. And so that's why I promote, make sure that everybody gets their mammograms and check your breast and everything. And so I'm so grateful that she got early detection.
I was about to say, I'm sure that you really, really grilled your daughter to make sure that you got it right, Kristol. And Dr. Landeros, the importance of screening, it's even been questioned at times about whether those annual breast exams are necessary. What do you have to say about that?
Well, based on the data from American College of Surgeons and American Cancer Society, the recommendation is a screening mammogram every year starting at age 40. A couple years ago, the government put up a task force about knowing if that was really cost effective. They came out with the idea of having mammograms after age 50 and every 2 years after that. There's a certain number of patients who lose, like Kristol would, for example, if that would be the case. And therefore we stick to the American College of Surgeons recommendations. I think it's paramount. And a study as old as a mammogram, for example, saves lives.
And so what advice would you give to people on how to do this, or just how to find out more information if they're at risk? What would you tell people?
Well, I would recommend strongly to speak to their primary physician, to have a discussion in length about a family history, not only of breast cancer, but other cancers can be associated with breast cancer. So it's important to have that in-depth talk with their physician.
And of course, we were talking during the break about the probability of a child developing breast cancer if the mother or even the father has breast cancer, and you said it's a very slim chance, but as you see on our stage right here, it happens.
It does, and we have to remember that cancer is a genetic problem. Now, it could be an alteration of the gene and during the lifetime of that patient, or it could be something inherited. Now, in this case, it looks like it's not inherited, or at least the cancer genes that we know at this point that cause inherited genetic breast cancer. So it can be a problem. It's a problem we see more and more, but these mutations can happen even without a family history.
All right, well, all three of you, thank you for coming on to talk about this, especially at this time when breast cancer is at the forefront as it is October. If you'd like to schedule a mammogram, we have a number there on your screen. It's 832-2860, and that is with the hospitals at Providence. And we've also provided a link to their website on our website, KVIA.com. You can find it under the links mentioned section of our homepage. We're back with more news after the break.